Good morning. Our lecture today is about what's economics? What are the main branches of economics? What are the main questions of economics? Let's start with what's economics. Economics is the social science that studies choices made by individual, firm, and government to cope with the scarcity. So what's meant by scarcity? Scarcity means that we have limited resources and unlimited needs. So we would like to use the limited resources to satisfy the unlimited needs. So this is scarcity. So scarcity means that we have limited resources compared to our unlimited needs. Due to problem of scarcity, we have to make choices or to set priorities. These choices or priorities are based on incentives. The incentives can be a reward that encourages me to take an action, or a penalty that discourages me from doing an action. For example, I'm very hungry right now and I would like to buy a product in order to eat. What are the different options or choices that can be purchased to satisfy my basic needs? I can buy chocolate or sandwich. Both of them can satisfy my basic need. If I'm going to buy a sandwich, I'm going to get a reward of satisfaction. I'm going to get fed up or eat a sandwich. So I'm going to be satisfied from eating this sandwich. So I'm going to get benefits. If I'm going to buy a chocolate, maybe I have an allergy from consuming this commodity. So I'm going to be tired from eating it. So this is a penalty that's going to discourage me from consuming or buying chocolate. So once again, as we have limited resources, we have to set priorities and make choices based on the incentive. That can be a reward which will encourage me to buy this product or to take this action, or discourage me from buying this product or taking this action. Economics has two main branches: microeconomics and macroeconomics. What is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics? Microeconomics is concerned with studying economic behavior for a single entity. Single entity means single unit. That can be single consumer or household or producer or firm or products. So, say for example, if you are going to study the change in prices of Pepsi, this is a microeconomic topic, as we are going to talk about a single product, which is Pepsi. What about macroeconomics? Macroeconomics is concerned with studying economic behavior on an aggregate level. Aggregate level means for the country as a whole. So if you are going to study the general price level, this is a macroeconomic topic. As in this case, we are not going to talk about specific products, but the prices on average. So this is a macroeconomic topic. So when we are going to talk about microeconomics, we can talk about demand for specific products or supply. And from this, we can find market equilibrium. And if you are going to talk about the consumer in more specific analysis, we can talk about the budget constraint and the indifference curve, or the utility. And if you are going to talk about the producer, so we have to talk about production and cost and profit maximization. What about macroeconomics? If you are going to talk about macroeconomics, so you have to understand what's meant by GDP, unemployment, inflation, government policies, that can be monetary policy or fiscal policy, aggregate demand and aggregate supply, etc. So mainly, if you are going to talk about a single unit, what's this unit, whether it is individual, product, firm, household. This is microeconomic. And if you are going to talk about the economy in general, the country as a whole, this is a macroeconomic topic. What are the main economic questions? There are three main economic questions that should be answered by any country or by any producer. Number one, what to produce. Number two, how to produce. And number three, for whom we are going to produce. Let's start with question number one, which is what to produce. In order to be able to answer this question, you have to know human needs and wants. So the main answer for this question is based on needs and wants. So you have to identify what to produce based on consumer needs. Then after that, you have to answer the second question, which is how to produce this product identified in question number one. If you are going to talk about how, this means we are going to talk about factors of production. Mainly factors of production can be divided into four groups. Number one, land, labor, capital, and number four, entrepreneurship. What's meant by each one of them? Land means gifts of nature. So this means that soil is land, salt is land, copper is land, trees, sea, all of these are land. What about labor? Labor means time and effort spent in production. So here we are not going to talk about labor as the number of workers. No, it's about time and effort. Maybe we have 10 workers. Each one of them would like to work for 1 hour. So here it is 10. And maybe we have only one worker, but he is working for 10 hours. So it is the same, it's 10. So labor is time and effort spent in production regardless of the number of workers working actually. Capital. Number three, capital. Capital means machines, building, equipment, and tools. So capital from economic point of view is different from capital from accounting point of view. According to accounting point of view, capital is money. But actually, according to economic point of view, money is not one of the factors of production. It is the mean to buy the factors of production. Okay? But actually, it's not one of the factors of production. So capital means machine, building, equipment, and tools. What about entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is the person who organizes the relationship between the three other factors. So he is somehow like the manager who manages the relationship between land, labor, and capital. So this is the factors of production that will be used in order to produce the commodity which has been identified in question number 1. Now we are going to move to question number 3. For whom? Here we are going to think about who is going to buy our products. Actually, it's not based on needs alone. Based on needs, I have identified that people would like to buy these products. But actually, do you think they can buy it or not? This depends on money income or money received by each one of them. Do they have enough money to buy these products or not? Okay, so in question number 1, we have identified the needs. And in question number 3, we have identified the ability of the consumer to buy this product in order to be able to sell it after production. So if we are going to assume that the economy consists of the owner of the 4 factors of production. So the total population is divided into land owner, capital owner, labor, and entrepreneurship. So what is the money received by each one of them? What is the name of the money received by each one of them? When we are going to talk about land, so the income or the money received by the landowner is known as rent. And if you are going to talk about capital, the money received by capital owner is known as interest. And with respect to labor, it's wages. And finally, with respect to entrepreneurship, he is going to get profits. So entrepreneurship, as the manager, he has to pay rent, interest, and wages, and the residual of the money or the remaining money is his own profits. So this is the answer of the 3 basic questions or 3 main questions of economics. What to produce is based on needs. How? This is related to factors of production. And for whom? This is related to income received by each one of the 4 factors of production. This is the end of our lecture today. Thank you and see you next week.